I realized as a man, I got a lot of. Well, I don't want to say I have a lot of pride, but I know like.
I'll say it.
Dang, give me some cream for that burn.
There was just about a half a second pause that you gave me to put that in there. Like I had to take it.
It's all good. But no, like, so here's my thing. Like, man, like, I'm like, my problem is I'm for the shenanigans when it comes to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's like my biggest issue. Like, letting my girl win is something that I can do. It's not something that I have done often.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'll let you win, like you can have the win, but like it's not often enough.
Yeah.
That I could do that. So like once I got in a relationship, like the girl like we just like stopped talking. Like we just wasn't communicating. And that has went on for a long time. Cause it's like, cause me, I won't break. I won't break. And so it's continued on like that for a while now, and like that would happen. It'd be like, if you don't talk to me, I won't talk to you.
Right.
So it's like, all right, cool. Like, and I think as a man, I think it's a pride thing because it's just like, hey man, like I've had this thing where I didn't have to live with any. Well, I had a long-term relationship with somebody and that didn't work out. So now I've been in this long-term, like isolated single kind of thing where I haven't really like dated. So it's like at that point it's like, hey man, I ain't been with nobody. So like if I don't, it's like, hey, it's no real loss.
Yeah.
Like it sucks because I think that as men, like we want to be needed.
Yeah.
And like that's a necessary thing for us to have. Like we want to be needed. So in wanting to be needed, like when we don't feel needed, like when it's like, okay, all right, cool, you got your own happiness, you don't need me. All right, you don't need me for happiness, that's cool. You don't need me for support, that's cool. You don't need me for wisdom, that's cool. You don't need me for, you know what I'm saying, to help you with anything, that's fine. So what you need me for? Then why am I here? For your enjoyment? I got dreams and aspirations too. So it's like a weird thing with me. So it's like,
interesting.
Yeah, so it's like, it gets kind of hard to be like, oh, okay, well, I know.
That's okay.
Like, if that makes sense. It's like,
that's interesting because to me, I'm hearing that and I'm just like, bro, that sounds perfect.
What you mean?
Like, she don't need you. She just wants you around.
What am I hearing?
Huh?
So help me understand.
Oh, we getting good at
yeah,
this.
bro. All right, I mean, we're gonna get real, bro. Like, all right, check this
on,
out.
Let's talk,
Think about this, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, it's a pride thing if you need to be needed. Because at the end of the day, like, if she wants you to be around, that's because she actually cares about you and wants you to be around, not because she don't need you, right? So now you get to focus on yourself. You get to focus what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, your dreams and stuff like that, right? Because you got the time to. Because ain't nobody looking for you like that because they just want you around, but they don't need you around, right? So like that's like that for me that works perfectly. Like my relationship right now like that. Like she doesn't need me. She wants me around, and when I can't be around like that, she's sad, but she ain't hurt because I ain't the other half to her half. She a whole person. So now when I gotta go roll out to do the pod, it's not okay. All right, I'll see you later. Or I gotta go to the studio and work on music on Tuesdays. It's like that, right? Oh, okay, all right, have a good time. You know, because nobody need me. She just want me to be around. She's genuine cares, genuine love, and it's not about her. It's about like just her doing her and me doing me and we doing that together. Like that. But I can step away from that to go do what I gotta do because she don't need me. She just wants me.
So the hurt. Well, I'm wondering if I'm being clear on actually what I'm saying. It's not the needing me that I need. It's the, okay, if I am useful, I guess that's a better word. If I am useful,
yeah, but then again, go ahead. But what's useful? Like,
what's not? Like, okay, so if a person is to be a help, like for example, like I'm supposed to be able to help others, right? That's use to me. Right. So if I can be of use, then that's cool. But if you don't need, if I guess need makes it sound like it's a dependency.
Well, it's your
but that's
value,
not.
I mean, well, we mean like we might need to cut
sure.
this because we gotta get like real. Is your value seen in like your usefulness? Like, do you only feel like your value to people if you're useful? to them? Because if otherwise, then like
Yeah.
Then I feel like that.
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
we've been doing this for the pod's been around for over a year now, but I feel like we now podding right now. This is good.
Hey.
This is good.
Fair enough.
This is good.
Yo, but I'm just
We
saying,
can
like,
save this.
yeah,
But
that's useful. Like you saying, like I don't know. There's a bad. I think there's a bad mentality when you get to yourself at the point of being like, oh, my usefulness is my value, because at the end of the day, like it has to. You have to. It's then not internal. It's external. Like you're like it comes from everybody else affirming that, rather than you knowing you have these things and you were able to give those out, because those are the gifts that God has like given you and stuff like that. You better bless people with that. But if you're looking at it as like what people see when you do those things, then like the motivation for it is external, not internal.
More like, okay, so I think I understand what you're saying only because of fitness. In fitness, you're only able to stick with working out on a regimen or something if there's intrinsic motivation. So that's inward.
Yeah.
Inward motivation from self, not from outside opinion. So that's kind of what you
Essentially.
Okay, so that makes sense. So I guess in that way, yeah. Because for one, I think of that like in a business sense. For one, it's not effective business if you're not useful. Like I can mean well, I can think I'm good, but if I don't perform, then there is this, you know what I'm saying? Well,
okay.
We don't really need you, so how often am I going to keep you around in order for it to? How often am I going to keep you around in order for you to become useful? Because if that never happens, if that never happens, then I have to cut you. You know what I mean? Like I got to cut you off, because then it's a waste of time and money and effort. So I guess like to me it's more like, okay, well, as a man I'm supposed to be useful. I'm supposed to be useful to do things and to help others. If I'm unable to help others, if I'm unable to be of use, and that comes in all kind of forms, whether it's through conversation, emotional support, mental support, or physical, that I like if I'm unable to do all of these things, then what use is there?
So then back to even to the root of that, you're talking about you compare relationship to business.
I just used the business as an example.
As an example, not a comparison.
No, it's just an example. Like if you're in business, if you're in business and you ain't able to perform, then you get cut. Just in general, like if you're no use to the company don't need you around. So I think a lot of the times that relationships, like for example that I've been in, it does kind of operate like a business. That wasn't my original comparison, because it's like, all right, so what happens when you stop wanting me around? What happens when I get if it becomes annoying to you? Then you can just, I don't want to deal with you no more. And that's cool. I can go on about my life, but then I feel like I've wasted my time. But if there's a usefulness for me being here, if there's like, for example, I know somebody that's like, yo, I'm just comfortable when I'm around you. And it's the same thing for me and that person. It's like, I don't need to be around you and talk. Like, there's no need for me to like try to really like push conversation. The fact that she's just there, I'm just cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm comfortable. And I think that's like the highest level I can ever reach in a relationship, when I can just chill, because I think a lot. So when I can just sit around you and just be at peace, that's like top tier for me.
Okay.
So, for example, when I look at relationships, I often look at it out of that lens. Like, well, if I'm not useful, then once you're tired, I'm going to go and kick rocks. Because there's no use. Like, you just want me here, but what if that runs out? Then what? Where's your commitment?
But then that feels iffy to me, because then people adapt and people change. So what they needed from you at one point, they don't need from you later. Then the relationship gotta die because of that. And in my head, I'm like that don't fit right to me. Now with the want and the desire to be with somebody, it's because you genuinely like love that person like that, regardless of what they give you or what their usefulness to you is some sort like that. If I'm trying to hit what we're talking about, I don't like. That just has too much room to end up changing and being something different later at that. And then it's like, well, now what do we do? It's like, nah, like everybody will adapt and change. But if I love you at the heart of who you are, like that, and that's enough, then I'm gonna maintain no matter how you change, no matter how you adapt, no matter how you move, right? And because at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna need you to do the same thing that you did for me 5 years ago. Like I'm not, because you were there for that. Even you changed and I changed and I grew. That right, and now I don't need you to do that for me because I've learned how to do that for myself, or my need is now changed and I don't need that now. I'm 5 years in like that, and I'm starting to see myself a little bit differently, so my need is different, right? So I wouldn't, you see where I'm going with it a little bit,
right,
yeah,
right.
okay,
all right, yeah, that's wise.
Also, because I understand what you mean by you being useful, but how you view you being useful to a person can look different to them. What I mean by that is like love languages, right? You can love somebody and you can be doing your best with what you know and how you feel with them. You could be cheering them up, praising them on, being faithful, loyal, you know what I'm saying, being consistent, all of those things. But that may not be necessarily what they want in order to feel loved. And what I'm saying is, in terms of you saying that you want to feel useful and stuff, maybe your version of useful is different from theirs. And to them, I'm just speaking hypothetical, I'm not speaking about a particular person, but
Right.
but to them, it's like, no, what you're doing right now, how you are, how you're interacting with me, the space that you give me, the love that you give me, all of these things, that's what I want from you right now. Everything that you're doing for me right now. And then you could be just like, bro, I'm not doing nothing. All I'm doing is texting you like, hey, how you doing? We talk for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we go out to eat or something. Like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I don't feel like I'm contributing to you or us in this aspect. But to them, it could be like, yo, this is everything I've ever wanted. But maybe they just can't articulate that to you because maybe they don't know how to articulate that.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Hey, y'all making great points. I don't want y'all to think that any of this is missed on me. Like for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. I ain't never thought of that. But like kind of like what you said kind of remind me of coincidentally faith versus the works kind of argument. Is like if it's about me trying to earn being loved, then I'm not accepting the love that's already given as a gift.
mm-hmm.
And that's something I never seen about my walk before. Like my walk has always been trying to be good enough.
Yeah.
Because I've always struggled with that. Like I just had, you know what I'm saying, kind of that need. So it's like it's hard to just accept being loved for being loved.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, for just being a person you are rather than what you could do. Because I've even had people like, yo, like I don't trust you to lead me. Like that's a wound. You feel me? Like that's like if your girl look at you and be like, yo, like I just don't trust you to lead me. Like you be like, I know how to fish, girl. Bump you. What you mean? I can cut corn off a stalk. What can you do? You know what I'm saying? But and this is example. Like not seriously. But that's the thing. Like so when I'm looking at this, so when I'm listening, y'all kind of remind me like, man, like what's earning love if it's freely given? What's the point? I don't even think y'all thought y'all was hitting that point, but it just
no.
It hit that deep.
I get you. Yeah. No, it's a weird space to get to when you realize that. It's like, oh, dang. So I just kind of got to get okay with the fact that like there's nothing I can do. I'm not something supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, you know, honor is the best thing. Is the best thing for me to do. But it's not the thing that I have. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just is. Yeah. No. It's a weird trip. It's a weird trip when you get to that point of like, okay, like. But it's freedom too, though, in that, because then you just get to the point of like, especially even like the walk with God, right? It's just like, man, okay, like you stay away from sin, but you also get to that point where you realize that like the moment that you mess up, you can receive the grace. You can receive the grace instantly as well. Like it's like, dang, I messed up, but I'm covered by the blood like that. I repent for this like that, and I move forward. And the rest of the world will look at it like, oh no, like you still have to sit in this. You have to be guilty for this. You have to do this like that. But it's like, no, like that grace has been extended and it's free to you because of how your relationship with Christ. So therefore, you move forward out of it instead of sitting in it and dwelling in the shame and the guilt and stuff like that, right? So,
and what's crazy is that's the hardest part. That's typically the hardest part, especially in Western society. Because if you look at it, what do we taught? Hey, when you mess up, sulk, sit in it and sulk.
Yeah.
And then once you've done sulking, wait for somebody to come tell you to get up for you to move forward. It's never like, for most parts, in a healthy environment, then yeah, it'll be as exactly as you said. But then a lot of the environments that it is unhealthy, it's not cultivated in that kind of manner. It's more like, hey, sit and think about what you did. There's no grace in there.
Right.
If I'm sitting and thinking about when I fully grasp the concept of the wrong, then I can make an intelligible choice. I don't know if intelligible is a word.
But I know I'm good enough. Yeah, good enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But I was just thinking, I'm like, yeah, that's the thing with like, I think we mess it up as kids, bro. Like as parents who teach kids, it's like, go over there and think about what you did, right? Why don't we tell kids to go and think about how you're not going to do that again, or how you will avoid making that mistake again?
How?
Like I don't know, that doesn't come off the tongue as easy.
No, but it makes sense.
But
like come back to me with a different solution than what
when you come back, tell me what you're gonna do differently next time to avoid that from happening, right? So that's not because you have to think about the shame on that one. You got to think about how you're gonna be better, and I find that's a healthy. That's something we're talking about now. And I'm definitely like, dang, nobody's told me that before, but I definitely want to take that into my life. Like when I have kids, like yo, like you go and think about how you're gonna like do better, like not do better because that's not the best way to put it like that, but think about how you're going to avoid making that mistake again, and that's going to help people become better problem solvers in their own lives, and less shame, people full of shame, but people like learning how to produce better results for themselves. So yeah, I think we just cracked parenthood.
Why wouldn't we talk about this first?
I don't know, but like this whole little last 20, 30 minutes is going to be a nice AfterPod.
I might say AfterPod, or like you might have to split this one into two.
Man.
Oh, that's going to be AfterPod for when we take a break.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because for one, it's like it's kind of weird. It's like a revelation I've never even had before.
Yeah.
And it's just like, a multitude of people will tell you something that don't hit until it hit. Like until you reach the end of yourself, and then having to hear my own voice say the things that I'm saying and process it with my own mind. It's kind of like, it's like, oh man, this do sound messed up. Like, oh, okay, so I have been trying to earn love this whole time.
Yeah.
All right, well, how do I get free? Okay, I just have to accept what is.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing, accepting what is. So as a man, have y'all ever struggled with that? And I mean, we ain't got to say stories because I know we short on time, but just, have y'all ever struggled with that? Have you ever struggled with not feeling good enough?
Absolutely. Like yeah.
Every time like
in love
now.
In love,
feeling this.
I've felt like that my entire life until I got to this point.
For sure.
Honestly, like I felt like that the entire time, and it's just like, man, all of us like, and even as we're talking about now, I'm like, bro, I'm realizing something that like I had never articulated out loud, but the place that I'm at now. Like that with like life and love and why like I know like God is in this relationship and stuff like that, but like it's like yo, like because there just is a different mentality going into it now because I've tried it all the other ways and tried it like and felt so lowly about myself and just been like, yo, like, this can't be it though. This can't possibly be like make sense. If God is all of these things and I believe in all of these things like that, then I can't possibly be like that. Like I can't, my self-image is messed up if I continue to see myself this lowly. If this is not who the creator of all things says I'm this, and I continue to see myself as not. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
For me, like, that's how it was me up until, like, I mean, I still struggle with some things like that now, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, like, thinking, am I enough? But, like, it was really bad before I put my first book out. Because up to that point, it was just like, what am I doing? Like, I got a job, it paid decent, but it's not nothing that I want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I got all this talent, all these gifts, and I know the type of person that I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't go down this road like a lot of people didn't do this, didn't do that. This is before I found God, right? So it was just a lot of, what am I doing? Like, I don't have no direction. I'm not good enough. Like, maybe I should have played basketball like everybody told me to do. Like, right now, I'd be, making money. I'd be playing ball. I probably wouldn't be as happy. I mean, like, yeah, with the things, the perks that come with that, yeah, that'd be cool. But, like, the actual thing of doing it, not really. But I'd be enough. People be like, oh, yeah, he did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made some of himself. But it wasn't until, like, I put the book out that life started to feel like, oh, I'm doing something now.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom told me she was proud of me. And I had a whole conversation with her on the phone. And I cried. Because, like, it didn't hit until, like, I put the book out of what I was really searching for. And the thing that I was really searching for was just making my parents proud. So to get that from both of them, to hear them verbally say that, like, yo, like, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm proud of who you become, the man that you are, everything else like that. And that was big for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, yo, like, I've gotten that before, like, but it didn't really feel like, I wasn't a man when I got that. Like, I was still a kid. You know what I'm saying? You tell a kid all the time, if you love them, apparently, like, like, yo, I'm proud of you. Like, good job. Woo, woo.
Did you say if you love them?
Listen, man, look, if you're a good parent or something, you love your kids, like, you tell them that sort of things. But as an adult, as a grown man, like, I didn't receive that. So for me to go out and put everything that I was at that point, all my talents and everything, into one thing and put it out to the world and it be successful and just get told, like, yo, I'm proud of you. Like, that was big for me. You know what I'm saying? And like how Cam was saying about, you know what I mean, about like, about being enough and like looking at God and knowing everything about the walk in the Bible and everything else like that. Now looking at it, it's just like, oh yeah, like, I'm a poet, like, I'm a podcast host. Like, it's instead of, I put it like this, because I learned this from a sermon. I forgot who preached the sermon. I'm gonna wrap up, but like, they were saying that you are not a period. A lot of us put like a period, like Darius, you're a father, period. Cam, you're a rapper, period. I'm a poet, period. You know what I'm saying? But that's not who we are. That's not what God created us to be. There's commas. You know what I'm saying?
Ever evolving, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just ain't what we supposed to be. And that really gave me clarity, because it's just like, yeah, I play basketball. Cool. I'm tall. But that doesn't mean that I just go into this one little branch. Like, nah. Like, there's layers. There's, like, branches upon branches. I'm not just one streamlined thing. You know what I'm saying? For me, that was big. That was big, like, getting that, like, type of idea out and whatnot. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Never thought of it like that. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, right? That
That's
was
a
God.
lot, man.
Yeah, no, that was God
That's-
saying, like, yo, y'all got to get home.
Wrap it up. Wrap this joint up, bitch.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't even introduce the pod. It's cool. We was in conversation the whole time, but it's cool, though. To my left,
Cam.
to my right,
Yes.
we still in the 50s. I don't know, 56, I don't know. But
50 something.
50 something, but this has been Reset the Vibe. As always, ladies and gentlemen, take care of one another, be kind to one another. As always, love. And we out.